another generation has lost another bright young comedian.
At 61, Chris Farley finally confirms. The rumors about Kevin Farley's death has become a shocking topic that is spreading everywhere. People are talking about what Chris Farley supposedly said and how it connects to long-standing rumors about Kevin Farley.
Chris Farley always appeared to be the life and the soul of the party, and his excessive lifestyle was well reported. But was his untimely death simply the result of him not being able?
Many are confused and asking what is true and what is not. Was there ever any truth to it at all? Did Chris really confirm anything? Or is it just talk? How did this rumor even begin? Join us as we uncover what is being said and what people believe. Tragic final years and the circumstances of his untimely death. 27 years ago, the world lost one of the most beloved comedians of his generation. When Chris Farley's life came to a heartbreaking end. The talented performer, known for his larger-than-life personality, unforgettable comedy sketches, and boundless energy, passed away far too young, leaving behind a legacy that continues to be remembered by fans around the world. Born in Wisconsin, Farley rose from a young man with big dreams to become one of the most recognizable comedy stars in America. His journey to fame was deeply influenced by another legendary comedian, John Belushi, whom he admired from an early age. Farley's admiration for Belushi shaped many of the choices he made throughout his career and ultimately became an important part of his personal story. On December 18, 1997, Farley was found dead in his apartment in Chicago. He was only 33 years old. Tragically, he passed away at the exact same age as John Belushi, who had passed away 15 years earlier. The similarities between their lives and careers had often been noted throughout Farley's rise to fame, making the circumstances even more striking. Farley's fascination with Belushi began when he was young. After seeing how much laughter and excitement Belushi's performance in Animal House brought to his father, Farley became determined to follow a similar path. He admired Belushi's ability to make people laugh and dreamed of building a comedy career that would mirror his hero's success. That dream slowly became reality. In 1987, Farley earned a place at Chicago's famous Second City Theater. This was a significant achievement because it was the same theater where Belushi had launched his own career years earlier. For Farley, it was another step toward following the path he had long admired. His talent quickly attracted attention. In 1990, producer and creator Lorne Michaels selected Farley to join Saturday Night Live. Once again, the connection to Belushi was impossible to ignore. 15 years before Farley's debut, Belushi had also begun his career on the legendary sketch comedy show. Farley immediately became one of the most popular performers on Saturday Night Live. His incredible energy, physical comedy, and fearless performances helped him stand out among a talented cast. Audiences eagerly looked forward to his appearances each week, and many of the characters he created became comedy classics. During his 5 years on the show, Farley introduced several memorable characters that are still remembered today. Among them was Matt Foley, the wildly energetic motivational speaker who became one of the most famous comedy characters in the history of the program. He also portrayed a hopeful Chippendales dancer and Cindy, one of the Gap girls. These performances showcased his remarkable ability to combine physical comedy with a unique sense of humor that connected with audiences across the country. Although Farley achieved enormous success on Saturday Night Live, his time on the show eventually came to an end. In 1995, he was fired from the program. His close friend Adam Sandler was also dismissed during the same period. While losing his position on such a successful show was undoubtedly a major change, Farley continued to find opportunities in the entertainment industry. Following his departure from Saturday Night Live, he successfully transitioned to film. His popularity remained strong, and audiences embraced his work on the big screen. He starred in Tommy Boy, a comedy that became one of his most beloved films and helped solidify his reputation as a leading comedy actor. He later appeared in Beverly Hills Ninja, further demonstrating his ability to attract audiences and deliver memorable performances. From the outside, Farley appeared to have achieved everything many people dream of. He had fame, financial success, devoted fans, and a thriving career in entertainment. However, behind the laughter and success, he faced serious personal struggles that followed him throughout much of his life. Farley battled addictions to alcohol, doses, and food. These challenges became a constant presence in his life and often overshadowed his professional achievements. Despite his popularity and success, he found himself repeatedly fighting against these personal demons. Throughout the years, Farley entered rehabilitation programs more than a dozen times in an effort to overcome his addictions. His attempts to recover demonstrated that he was aware of the seriousness of his struggles and was trying to regain control of his life. At one point, he managed to remain sober for 3 years, a significant accomplishment considering the difficulties he faced. However, his recovery was not permanent. In 1995, Farley experienced another relapse. This setback marked the beginning of a particularly difficult period in his life. Friends, family members, and colleagues became increasingly worried about his health and well-being as they watched him continue to struggle. Many of the people closest to Farley feared that he was heading toward the same tragic fate as John Belushi. They understood the dangers associated with addiction and recognized troubling similarities between the lives of the two comedians. Among those concerned was Jim Belushi, the brother of John Belushi. He tried to warn Farley about following the same destructive path. Those around Farley hoped he would learn from the tragic outcome of his hero's life and make changes before it was too late. Despite the concerns expressed by friends and loved ones, Farley continued living a lifestyle marked by excess. The warnings from those who cared about him did not lead to lasting change. As time passed, the fears surrounding his health became increasingly serious. In an interview with Rolling Stone in 1997, Farley spoke about life and mortality in a way that reflected his personal outlook. His comments suggested an acceptance of uncertainty and a belief that some things were beyond human control. Looking back, those remarks have often been remembered because they were made during the final year of his life. As the months passed, Farley's struggles continued. Then, on December 18, 1997, tragedy struck. When Farley's body was discovered in his Chicago apartment, investigators found no evidence of foul play. There were also no doses discovered inside the apartment. Even so, those who knew him best immediately feared that his long-standing battles with addiction had played a role in his death. Their fears were later confirmed. An autopsy determined that Farley passed away from an accidental overdose. The findings revealed that the combination of these substances had ultimately caused his death. However, medical experts concluded that neither of these substances contributed to his death. The investigation also identified another important factor affecting Farley's health. According to the medical examiner, coronary atherosclerosis played a significant role in the circumstances surrounding his death. Coronary atherosclerosis is a condition involving the narrowing of the arteries that supply blood to the heart. This condition can place significant strain on the cardiovascular system and increase the risk of serious health complications. The medical examiner's report indicated that it was an important contributing factor in Farley's case. According to information from the Mayo Clinic, several factors can increase the risk of developing coronary artery disease. These risk factors include obesity, alcohol use, and an unhealthy diet. Farley faced all of these challenges. At the time of his death, he stood 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed 296 pounds. His struggles with food addiction had long been well known, and his difficulties with alcohol and substance use were also widely documented. The combination of these health issues created a dangerous situation. While the overdose was determined to be the direct cause of death, the underlying heart condition was identified as a significant contributing factor. Farley's death shocked the entertainment world. Fans who had watched him bring laughter to millions were devastated by the news. Colleagues who had worked alongside him remembered his kindness, generosity, and ability to light up a room with his personality. The loss felt especially painful because he was still young and remained one of comedy's brightest talents. Although his life ended far too soon, Chris Farley's impact on comedy continues to endure. His performances on Saturday Night Live, his memorable film roles, and the unforgettable characters he created remain cherished by audiences decades later. His remarkable ability to make people laugh ensured that his work would outlive him. At the same time, his story serves as a reminder of the personal struggles that can exist behind public success. Despite achieving fame, wealth, and admiration, Farley continued to battle addictions and health challenges that ultimately contributed to his tragic death. More than 2 decades after his passing, Chris Farley remains one of the most beloved comedians of his era. His talent, energy, and unforgettable performances continue to entertain new generations of fans, ensuring that his legacy lives on long after his final curtain call. Legacy through the eyes of his brother, Kevin. Kevin Farley, the younger brother of the late comedian Chris Farley, has shared heartfelt memories about the beloved star and reflected on the lasting impact Chris continues to have many years after his death. Kevin explained that the family was approached by A&E about creating a documentary centered on Chris's life and career. The idea meant a great deal to them. He said they were deeply touched that people were still talking about Chris more than 2 decades after his passing. For the family, it was comforting to know that his work and the joy he brought to audiences had not been forgotten. As part of its award-winning biography series, A&E announced 3 new documentaries exploring the lives and careers of Chris Farley, Jeff Dunham, and Jeff Foxworthy. The documentary about Chris premiered on Monday, May 27th. It featured rare personal photographs and home videos, giving viewers a closer look at the man behind the comedy. All 3 of Chris Farley's brothers also appeared on camera and shared honest memories about their experiences with him. Chris Farley became famous for his energetic comedy style. His performances were often filled with explosive enthusiasm, physical humor, and unforgettable characters. Whether he was appearing in sketches on Saturday Night Live or starring in films, he developed a reputation as a performer who gave everything he had to make audiences laugh. Despite his enormous success, Chris faced many personal challenges. He was found dead in his apartment in Chicago at the age of 33 in 1997 due to an overdose. According to police reports, his brother John was the person who called emergency services after finding Chris in the front room of his home. Looking back on his brother's life, Kevin acknowledged that coping with fame was not easy for Chris. He explained that the rapid rise to success brought pressures that Chris may not have been fully prepared to handle. Becoming a major star in a short period of time meant dealing with expectations from many different directions while continuing to entertain audiences. Kevin believed that Chris worked hard to manage those pressures. He said his brother did the best he could under difficult circumstances and fought hard throughout his struggles. While many people saw the comedian who made them laugh, Kevin remembered someone who was working through challenges behind the scenes. According to Kevin, Chris had many dreams and genuinely loved both his career and his life. He enjoyed performing and was passionate about his work. However, addiction created obstacles that affected the way he viewed himself and the world around him. Kevin felt that addiction had a powerful impact on his brother's self-esteem and mental well-being, making life more difficult despite all of his achievements. Chris became especially well known for playing lovable but clumsy characters in films such as Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. These roles helped make him one of the most recognizable comedy stars of his generation. Audiences connected with the warmth, humor, and charm he brought to these characters. Yet, maintaining that public image was not always easy. In 1996, Chris spoke openly about the challenges of constantly being expected to be the funniest and most outrageous person in every room. Although he loved that style of comedy, he admitted that it could sometimes feel limiting. He was working toward separating his private life from the larger-than-life personality that audiences expected to see on screen. Today, Chris Farley remains one of the most memorable figures in comedy. Through documentaries, interviews, personal photographs, and the memories shared by family members such as Kevin Farley, audiences continue to remember not only the performer who brought laughter to millions, but also the person behind the fame. For his family, it is deeply meaningful that so many people still appreciate his work and continue to celebrate the legacy he left behind. Kevin Farley reflects on Chris Farley's life. Kevin Farley has shared heartfelt memories about his late brother Chris Farley, offering a deeper look at the person behind the laughter. Speaking about Chris's struggles with addiction, Kevin explained that those closest to him recognized from an early age that something seemed different and that he was facing challenges. As Kevin reflected on those years, he explained that family members and friends did everything they could to help. He noted that many people facing addiction often become isolated, and that isolation can make things even more difficult. Because of this, he believes it is important for anyone who is struggling to reach out to the people around them. He emphasized the value of support from family and friends and said that this was exactly what those close to Chris tried to provide. Looking back on their childhood in Wisconsin, Kevin recalled that Chris's talent for making people laugh was obvious from an early age. He remembered growing up with a brother whose energy seemed endless. While Chris was known for his wild sense of humor, Kevin pointed out that many people never saw another side of him. Despite his larger-than-life image, Chris was actually a very shy person. Kevin described him as someone who treated everyone with kindness and respect. While audiences often remember the loud, energetic performer, Kevin said the quality he remembers most is Chris's kindness. It was a side of him that many people never had the opportunity to see. As Chris began pursuing a career in entertainment, his parents naturally had concerns about the path he had chosen. Kevin explained that their father was a businessman who had built a successful career in business. Because of that background, show business seemed far less predictable and secure. Although they were nervous about the uncertainty of a career in comedy, Chris's parents remained supportive of his dreams. Kevin shared that watching their brother appear on television was both exciting and surreal for the entire family. They believed he would make a significant impact on Saturday Night Live, and in time, that belief proved to be true. Chris Farley graduated from Marquette University in Milwaukee in 1986. After college, he performed with Chicago's Second City comedy troupe, where he continued developing his talents and building his reputation as a comedian. His success eventually led him to join the cast of Saturday Night Live for the 1990 season. During his time on the show, Chris became one of its most memorable performers. He remained a cast member until 1995 and earned widespread recognition for his energetic style and unforgettable characters. Kevin also reflected on Chris's deep commitment to family. He explained that one reason Chris moved to Chicago was to be closer to their mother and father, who were living in Madison, Wisconsin. Family always held a special place in Chris's heart, and maintaining those close relationships was important to him. According to Kevin, Chris hoped to have a family of his own one day. Even as his career grew and his fame increased, family remained a central part of his life. The people closest to him always mattered greatly, and he never lost that connection to his roots. When Chris passed away, his family faced an overwhelming loss. The pain of losing someone with such a vibrant personality was unlike anything they had experienced before. During that difficult period, they leaned on one another for strength and support. Kevin explained that the family came together and faced the tragedy as a united group. Their bond helped them endure the loss, and they remained there for one another through the grieving process. Family support became an important source of comfort during one of the hardest times in their lives. Today, Kevin remains thankful for opportunities to revisit memories of Chris and their childhood in Wisconsin. Reflecting on those experiences allows him to share a fuller picture of his brother's life and to help others understand who Chris was beyond his public image. More than anything, Kevin hopes people remember Chris Farley not only as an extraordinary comedian, but also as a genuinely kind person. He believes Chris was one of the funniest individuals to ever live. But he also wants people to recognize the warmth and generosity that defined him away from the spotlight. Those who knew him best will also remember a caring, humble, and deeply loved family man whose impact extended far beyond the stage and television screen. Kevin Farley's busy career in television, film, and entertainment. Kevin Farley built a steady and diverse career in entertainment, appearing in television shows, films, commercials, music videos, and comedy productions over many years. His work allowed him to showcase his talent across different types of projects, while also working alongside many well-known performers. Farley was a regular performer on Sports Bar, a sketch comedy television show that aired from 1997 to 1998. His role on the series helped establish him as a familiar face in comedy television. He later took on another memorable role when he portrayed Doug Linus in the fictional boy band Tooge plus Her. He appeared in the project from 2000 to 2001, becoming part of a comedy series that gained attention for its humorous take on the music industry. Throughout his career, Farley worked with several former cast members of Saturday Night Live, who had also been close colleagues of his brother, Chris Farley. He appeared in The Waterboy, a film starring Sandler, and also appeared in Dirty Work. His involvement in the film added another notable credit to his growing list of comedy appearances. He also appeared as himself in a Cooking with Randy sketch on All That. In the sketch, he appeared alongside Ketchup Boy, a character played by his brother Chris Farley, while working with Kenan Thompson. Farley continued to find success in television. In 2004, he guest-starred on the Nickelodeon series Drake and Josh. He appeared as Bud the janitor in the Season 2 episode titled Honor Council. His connection to the Joe Dirt franchise continued when he appeared in Joe Dirt 2, Beautiful Loser, playing the character Cal. The role allowed him to return to a familiar comedy world that audiences already recognized. Farley also appeared in Disney's That's So Raven, where he portrayed Felix, the limo driver. The role added to his growing list of appearances in family-oriented television programs and demonstrated his ability to perform in a variety of comedic settings. As the years went on, Farley remained active in television sitcoms. In 2016, he made a guest appearance on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He played the character Turkey in the Season 11 episode The Gang Hits the Slopes. The appearance introduced him to a new generation of comedy viewers and added another popular sitcom to his resume. He also appeared on the HBO series Curb Your Enthusiasm. In the episode The Rat Dog, Farley played an exterminator. The role allowed him to take part in one of television's most recognized comedy series. In addition, he guest-starred in an episode of the sitcom Rules of Engagement. Farley continued to take on unique comedic characters. In Superstore, he portrayed Eric, an NRA gun-carrying protester, in the Season 2 episode Guns, Pills, and Birds. The role added another notable television credit and demonstrated his willingness to take on a variety of supporting characters. Beyond television and film, Farley also appeared in several music videos. In 2005, he was featured in the music video For Blind, a single by the band Lifehouse. In the video, he portrayed a neglectful father who lives with his daughter, a character played by Tina Majorino. The role allowed him to participate in a dramatic narrative presented through music. In 2010, Farley appeared in the music video for This Afternoon by Nickelback. In the video, he played a kidnapped beer truck driver, adding another memorable appearance to his work in music-related productions. Farley's visibility extended into advertising as well. He appeared in a Dairy Queen commercial promoting the Kit Kat Blizzard. He also appeared in commercials for Hertz Rent-A-Car. These advertising projects helped bring his recognizable comedic presence to a wider audience through television marketing campaigns. In 2008, Farley starred in the political parody film An American Carol. The film also featured Kelsey Grammer and Jon Voight. The movie provided another opportunity for Farley to take part in a major comedy production. To help promote the film, he appeared on the television program The View on September 30th, 2008. Farley also explored entertainment on the internet. In 2007, he appeared in the web serial Two Guys Drinking at a Bar. The project reflected the growing popularity of online content and allowed him to participate in a different form of comedy programming. During the appearance, he performed a portion of his new stand-up comedy routine. This appearance highlighted his continued dedication to live comedy and his desire to connect directly with audiences through stand-up performance. His talents extended behind the camera as well. Farley directed the film Hollywood and Wine, which was released in 2011. Directing the project demonstrated another side of his creative abilities and showed his interest in developing projects beyond acting. On May 9, 2013, Farley was a featured guest on Sirius/XM Radio's The Jason Ellis Show. During the same year, the spoof film Paranormal Movie was released. Inspired by the Paranormal Activity film series, the comedy project featured Farley as both director and co-star. By directing and acting in the production, Farley took on significant creative responsibilities and further expanded his experience in filmmaking. In 2015, Kevin Farley and his brother John appeared in the documentary I Am Chris Farley. The documentary focused on the life of their brother, Chris Farley, and offered viewers a closer look at his legacy and impact. Their participation provided a personal connection to the story and helped honor Chris's memory. That same year, Farley also filmed the independent movie Crowning Jewels in South Bend, Indiana. The project added another independent film credit to his career and demonstrated his continued involvement in a wide range of productions. Also in 2015, Farley appeared on the television series Hawaii 5-0. He joined Jaleel White and Pauly Shore in the Season 5 episode Ho'amoano, Chasing Yesterday. The episode first aired on April 24, 2015, adding yet another television appearance to his long and varied career. From sketch comedy and sitcoms to films, music videos, commercials, directing, and documentary work, Kevin Farley built a career filled with diverse opportunities. His consistent presence across many forms of entertainment allowed him to remain an active and recognizable figure while continuing to develop his talents both in front of and behind the camera. What do you think about Chris Farley? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Before you go, be sure to click on the video shown on your screen.